Namakan is coming.
All right, so I thought I'd try a new thing, and I'm getting more into astrology as I explore both the Aurelia text and my own personal spiritual practice. I'm currently delving a lot more into astrology to see how it affects my life and how it can play out to explain, describe, and predict the events around us in the world and well, from my perspective, in my life in general. So I kind of made a couple of predictions based on astrology that I did research from, or I did research on, for the upcoming month, January of 2016. And I wrote a little bit of a script, and I know that in a couple of my other videos, you guys have seen me kind of read off that. And because this is a new thing for me, I'm going to be doing the same thing here. So with the winter solstice, now we've moved into Capricorn, or we're moving in that direction, or as of the making of this video, yes, we are in Capricorn. And for those of you that don't know that much about astrology, Capricorn has to do with, people that are born under the Capricorn zodiac sign are the most determined of the entire zodiac. This is from Google. So the animal that they're kind of attributed to is goats. For some reason, I'll have to look up the Babylonian attribution for the sign of Capricorn. For some reason, I always want to say Aquarius, but I get that a little confused sometimes. The Capricorn is the sign that's most ambitious, conservative, determined, practical, and helpful. So you'll see how this plays along with my prediction for the month of January 2016 as I continue to go through my notes. If my computer would stop freezing up, that'd be great. So Capricorn, the big thing for them is money and career, public image, goals, ambitions. So where did we start our ambitions and where are we now? So basically, this is kind of like the New Year's resolution time, and that's what it is to everybody on the calendar, but the astrology kind of really plays into that. Where are you in your life, and where can you go from here? What goals have you set that you haven't finished yet, and what things are not working out that well for you, and what things do you want to focus on, and what things do you want to get done? This is about drawing up plans, taking a look at all of your resources, everything that you have, and really figuring out what actions you need to take, what help you need to get, and what things you need to get rid of that no longer serve you so you can attain your goals. Before I get carried away and end up repeating myself, it's like a checkpoint in what we want to do. The New Year's resolution stuff, see, I'm already repeating myself. So Capricorn energy, which is what we're stepping into, is like the boss at a big company. They want to see results. They want to see, they want us to achieve more and more. So this is about expansion. Now, there are a couple of retrogrades that I'm going to talk about that are going to kind of make that a little bit more emphasized. So we've now spent the colder months indoors, or cold for some of us. I mean, I live in New England, and here I've been able to take walks outside with a t-shirt on because it's been so warm. But this time of year, we do spend a lot more time indoors looking, and anytime that we're indoors, think about being in your own head. You're really thinking about and interacting with those things that are closest to you. So it's about your home life. It's about your foundation. Let's see. And we're all looking forward to the new year and the new opportunities that it brings. What progress have we made? How can we raise the bar? Reflect on what you've done in the past year and see what needs to change. What hasn't worked? Maybe there were things that you wanted to achieve last year that you didn't get to. Well, why? Let's take a look at those different things that maybe got in the way, or those different details that you didn't think about. And really, this is like your next or your second try to get what you want, or to, this year you could develop a business. This year, like me, you could finish writing a book, which, knock on wood, I'll hopefully get that book done by the end of this year. What hasn't worked? What's been successful in achieving your goals? What has helped you so far? There's a couple things to think about. Is what you're going after what you really want? Have your goals changed? Like maybe what you wanted by this time last year is totally different this year. Do you have are your goals reasonable? Can you actually attain them? Do you have the financial support to get the goal? If not, how can you get it? Start brainstorming. Is your goal material based or spiritual based? Now, that does have an impact on whether or not you can get it. With a lot of things that are material based, it is about money. It's about right place, right time, getting all the details together. If it's spiritual based, maybe that means you have to dive a little bit deeper into your spiritual practice. Maybe there's a training that you want to get to. And I will say this, the power of manifestation and asking the universe for what you want and receiving that help is a very powerful force. So if it's a spiritual goal versus a material goal, really think of what you need to attain both of those. A lot of times with spiritual goals, I find I just have to put the time in for focusing on that goal, because I'm not the kind of person that goes to different trainings or workshops or things. I mean, I like leading them and I like doing the YouTube videos, but I don't personally like to learn in a structured setting, because I'm a self-taught pagan. I'm a self-taught Necronomicon practitioner, and I'm in any type of spiritual thing that I do, I am self-taught. Let's see. Hopefully I don't lose my place here. So let's talk about a couple of the ways that planets and the moon moves during this time and how it can influence us in January of 2016. So the moon goes into Scorpio both on January 3rd and January 31st. These are the days when you don't want to make purchases or you're going to regret it, most of the time. If need be, just be careful about the purchase that you make and try not to do it when the moon is void of course. Now, for those of you that don't know what the moon void of course means, the moon progresses through the zodiac just like the sun does. And there's a little space of time when it is not in one sign and it's not in another sign, but it is right in the middle. That's called being void of course. And when a moon is void of course, that means that it's a bad time to make decisions or to start something, because you'll have a little bit of bad luck with it. I know that's a topic I can dive into further on another video, but anyway, let me continue. So the moon itself goes from Libra on the 1st to Virgo on the 31st, so it goes all the way through the signs. It is a new moon on January 10th, and it is a full moon, for those of us gatewalkers that like to know that. The full moon is on January 24th. So Mercury retrograde, that also happens this month. Mercury retrograde has to do with Mercury itself going backwards in our point of view. And whenever a planet goes retrograde, that means the aspects of that planet are kind of reversed. So the moon is about emotions. When Mercury, I just really fudged that up. When Mercury goes into retrograde, let's remember, Mercury is about communication, commerce, and money. So when Mercury goes into retrograde, there's less communication, there's less commerce, or there's less money coming in. That also means that these things are not with the outward world, but Mercury retrograde is about the inward world, communication with yourself, really kind of thinking about what's going on with your life. And with everything I already said about January, about my predictions for January, the Mercury retrograde falls right in line with that, with really thinking about what you're doing and making sure it's the right thing. It's easy to see how the cold weather in this time of the year, especially this year, set the stage for planning, review, and goal-oriented thinking to achieve everyone's highest desires this year. Jupiter also goes into retrograde on January 7th. Now remember, Jupiter's all about expansion. So you get a little bit of a restriction energy, or more of an inward expansion rather than an outward expansion. So once again, in January, Jupiter going into retrograde really brings everything inside to really expand your thoughts. Not exactly like your endeavors outside in the world, but your thoughts and what your goals are. So Jupiter going into retrograde can be a good idea of planning. So let's see. So we're not thinking about starting a project or launching a business during this time. We are talking about laying the foundation, getting your ideas and facts straight. You don't want to start sailing and later find out that you're going to need a bigger boat. Yeah, when I wrote the script last night, I giggled at my own Jaws pun. Saturn is the planet that rules Capricorn. So we're stepping into Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is all about living life within limits, restriction, law, and karma. So you really need to take a look at Capricornian energy through the Saturnian lens, like I just described. With both the sign and the planet's aspect in mind, you can tell that January is a month for getting the details in business or in your personal life straight. Things need to be tidied up, and fixed. And if there's anything that's not 100% working yet, that's what you got to focus on first. Don't jump out the door and get things started, because this isn't the time for that. These aspects are about getting rid of what doesn't serve you and focusing on what does help you to get where you want to be. So with all this in mind, look on the new year. Where do you want to be in December of 2016? It may be helpful to make a vision board, a chart, or a roadmap that can help you organize your thoughts. That's what this time is for. It may be helpful to make I just said that. Or perhaps a to-do list, or a list of everything that's going on or that you want to get done. With to-do lists, make them as big as you want and start checking them off while you get them done. Even if it's a step 1, step 2, step 3, I don't know how familiar people are with outlines, because I talk about a lot of these things sometimes with people because I'm a teacher. So whenever I say make an outline, kids are usually like, I know how to make that. But when it comes to people that aren't necessarily in school all the time, making an outline is, like you have your first idea, and then any little ideas that lead up to that next idea, kind of make little indentations as you go along. Really planning things out. I really like planning things out on paper, because then I can look at it and I can be like, oh, I did this, and it gives you much more confidence seeing what you already got done, and then you can springboard to finishing what's next. Let's see. Shave the fat off of it. So make a giant list, see the things that aren't really that important, like, that's something I can get to. I could even make a to-do list for, let's say, March or April, and I can put it on there because it's warmer weather, and I know I can do that then. Really see what can be dropped off and what needs focus right now. What is calling to you? What is necessary? Maybe you shouldn't make that purchase or invest in something right now if your foundation isn't right. Perhaps it is the right time. Do the numbers add up? So, like I said, Capricorn, which we're stepping into in January of 2016, is really all about making sure all of your ducks are in a row and that you have everything that you need to make this year even better than last year. So by the time this time in 2016 rolls around, you can look back and be like, look at all the stuff that I got done, or look at this business I started, look at this book I wrote, look at this new skill I learned. Really plan it out, think it out, and make sure you have all of your details set before you get started. Because, like I said, you don't want to go sailing and then figure out you're going to need a bigger boat. So for those of you that have been on my channel for a while, what did you think about this? I know I could definitely get better with better scripting and more practice, but what did you guys think about the astrology predictions? What did you think about me doing an astrology video once in a while? I might make one of these a month, and just give me some feedback, and we'll see if we can grow this part of the channel that I wanted to start making. So good hunting to those of you that practice the necro, and for those of you that haven't, there's plenty of different videos that you can check out that are on my main page, so just click on my name down there, and really just take a look at my channel, learn as much as you can, give me some questions. It always gives me more inspiration to make more videos, and let me know what you thought about this one. Good hunting.